Most people don't have a money problem. They have an identity problem. And until you fix that, every budgeting app, every financial book, every savings goal is just a bandage on a wound that keeps reopening. Here's what nobody tells you. Your brain isn't wired to chase goals. It's wired to protect who it thinks you are. And right now, somewhere deep in your subconscious, there's a label. I'm bad with money. Money isn't for people like me. I always end up broke. And your behavior every single day is just living up to that label. Automatically, invisibly, on repeat. By the end of this, you're going to understand exactly why willpower fails, why discipline alone never works, and this is the part most people miss. What happened when researchers ran a simple identity experiment that permanently changed how people spent, saved, and thought about wealth? No new habits required, just a shift in who they believed they were. Picture someone we'll call Marcus. Decent income, smart guy, read every finance article, tried every budget, and yet, by the 20th of every month, he was back to zero, sometimes worse. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't stupid, he was just operating from a script he didn't know he'd been handed. His parents argued about bills. He internalized that money meant stress, that wanting more meant being greedy. So unconsciously, he kept sabotaging himself, not because he wanted to fail, but because staying broke felt familiar, and familiarity feels like safety. That's not a discipline problem. That's an identity running on autopilot. Here's the psychology. Behavioral researchers call it identity-based behavior. The idea that your actions don't flow from your goals, they flow from your self-concept. James Clear popularized a version of this, but the original research goes deeper. When your identity and your behavior conflict, your brain experiences genuine cognitive dissonance, a psychological discomfort so powerful that your mind will actually distort reality to resolve it. It will rationalize the impulse purchase. It will minimize the missed savings, because the alternative, admitting the identity is wrong, feels threatening to the self. This is why trying harder doesn't work. You're not fighting a habit, you're fighting a self-image. Now here's the twist that changes everything. In a series of studies on identity and financial behavior, participants who were simply prompted to describe themselves as savers, not given new rules, not given new tools, began making measurably different financial decisions within days, not weeks, days. The identity shift came first. The behavior followed like a shadow, because the brain doesn't ask, "What should I do?" It asks, "What would someone like me do?" That question is either your prison or your power. You get to decide which. So here's how you actually build a money identity that sticks. First, audit the label. Write down every belief you hold about money and follow it with, "And that makes me someone who..." You'll find the identity underneath the behavior fast. Second, make one small decision per day that a wealthy person would make. Not a big one, small. Consistency signals identity more than intensity ever will. Third, change your language. Stop saying, "I can't afford that." Start saying, "That's not a priority right now." One signals scarcity, the other signals control. Fourth, curate your environment. You absorb the identity norms of the people around you. Proximity is identity pressure, whether you notice it or not. Fifth, narrate yourself forward. Tell people, and tell yourself the new story. "I'm someone who's intentional with money." Say it until your brain believes it needs to prove it right. Marcus didn't need a new budget, he needed a new story about Marcus. Once he had that, the decisions that used to feel impossible started feeling obvious, natural even, because he wasn't fighting himself anymore. Your financial future isn't locked behind better information. It's locked behind a version of yourself you haven't stepped into yet. The only question is, who are you going to decide to be?